Hi, Subodh.
Hello, Pranav.
First of all, congratulations for clearing ICICI interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for having me over this platform as well.
Okay. So, before we start, could you, please give your introduction to the audience?
Yeah, so I'm Subodh Desai. I'm from Mumbai, and post my post-graduation, I have joined ICICI Bank, and I have been there for around 6 months, working as a position of manager band 2 in small and medium enterprises division, where we provide working capital facilities for the business units. And prior to that, I have done my BE from Mumbai University in electronics and telecommunication domain. And post that, I have an experience of around 4 years working for Infosys and then Capgemini and end user clients been banking clients. Yeah.
So, Subodh, could you take us through ICICI interview process?
Sure, Pranav. So before an application to ICICI Bank, first we receive a brochure, or you can call it as job description as well, where ICICI Bank share what is the journey of an ICICI Bank. Apart from that, they also share what are the roles being offered, because at bank level, there are multiple domains such as markets domain, retail domain, corporate domain, or transaction banking domain. So these are the overview of the roles which has been shared. Apart from that, compensation details are also mentioned in the job description. Post that, after completely reviewing that job description, one has to apply on an ICICI Bank portal from which an application ID is generated. From that application ID, your resume has been linked, and then you get a third, which is a resume shortlisting from a company's end. Post that, there is a psychometric test for the selected candidates. Post psychometric test, there will be a group discussion round, which is most important and crucial for an ICICI Bank level. Post that, there is a single round, which is a technical plus HR.
So, Subodh, can you take us through your interview experience round to round?
Yeah, so once the resume shortlisting was done, the first round, which was the psychometric test. So psychometric test is basically, you will get around 25 to 30 odd questions, which will test your user persona. And one thing to be noted is the psychometric test is not an elimination round, but this is one round which results are directly shared with the HR, and on the basis of that, they align your profile with a particular role. So post psychometric test, around 35 to 40 odd candidates were shortlisted for the group discussion round, and those 40 candidates were divided into 5 panels. So around 8 candidates in each panel. And for our batch specifically, there were around 5 case GDs to be shared. So ICICI do not have a random topic on which a GD has been conducted. They have a case study. In that case study, you will be shared 3 information. First is what that case study brief is about. So it could be about a particular industry, say a company of a cement industry. So first paragraph will be about an cement industry segment. Next paragraph will be around that particular company in that cement industry. And next will be around the financials, including the balance sheet as well as the income statements. So from that, you have given around 10 to 15 minutes to carefully evaluate and study that one pager. Post that, you have to bring about 5 pros and 5 cons from that GD, so that you will have a unique point, even if your input is about the last number. So how this works is, first of all, there would be a regular GD which happens where every candidate will try to put in an input. Post that, the technical GD panelist who is there, he will counter question you on whatever inputs you have given. Post that, at the end, he will ask again each candidate what are the still more things to figure out. So you still get a second opportunity to give some more input. That's the reason it's very crucial to have at least 5 key pointers or a pros about that company or con about that company. So topic could be both the ways, whether you have to invest in that company or you have to provide loan to that company. So it's basically deriving decisions whether you can invest in that company or not. So it's more about that. As I already told, the GD is the most crucial round, because from that GD, out of those 40 candidates, next around only 16 to 18 candidates were taken up to the next round, which was a personal interview, a technical plus an HR combined round. And during that personal interview experience, it usually starts with your basic introduction, as in the hygiene which you have been following for other rounds as well. Post that, they'll ask you a crucial question that link your points on your resume to how you will contribute to an ICICI Bank. So in case you have prior experience, how that prior experience will help ICICI Bank to grow, or what will be your contribution in that. In case you are a fresher, you still have to prepare what you have learned in this 1.5 year of your MBA and how that learning will contribute to your growth journey of an ICICI bank. So this is an important question through which my interview was started. Next, the important thing is the interview panelists which are there at ICICI bank will be from different domains. A person can be from a retail domain, a wholesale banking domain, corporate domains, or derivative domains. So it's quite important to have at least basic knowledge of all these domains. And for me specifically, the interview panelist was from the retail domain. So he asked me about the branch networking about in western of the India. Then he took me towards the Gujarat and how I will increase my branch network in Gujarat. Whether to promote ATM, whether to promote mobile banking, whether to provide mobile vans or to go ahead with core branch building. So it was more about building a rural India and having them on board through in digital medium as well. So I need to be aware about a couple of digital products which ICICI Bank has. So they have initially started with buy now, pay later. They have some Sarthi people who guide those people to get onboarded on ICICI Bank. So it was more about that part. Next crucial questions was few learnings from my MBA journey about the balance sheet or say income statement. Few couple of ratios were been questioned and how those ratios, whether that ratio is high enough, then whether a company should invest in that or not, or vice versa, a loan should be provided on that or not. So it was quite a repetitive of the GD part, but this is something which is very, very important. And next, my interview journey went about how 360 coverage will be done. So if you consider a bank, there will also be a savings account, there will also be an investment portfolio, there will also be a demat account, or you will also take a loan from that. So how you will increase and 360 degree for an individual customer or an individual business unit, that is something which was been asked in an interview. Yeah. And next thing was the HR round. So HR mostly asked you about how comfortable you are in different roles. So he asked me about product role, he asked me about sales role, even asked me about back-end operations role, whether I'm comfortable or not, and about few location questions, which all locations I'm comfortable or not. Yeah. So it was a combined round of technical plus HR, which lasted for around 1 hour 15 minutes.
Could you please tell us about your preparation strategy for this role?
Correct. So Pranav, for any company which comes onto the campus, I had already prepared a structure about how to prepare for that company. So usually a timeline of around 12 hours to 24 hours is there before you get a shortlist and your interview has been scheduled. So for that 12 hours journey, first thing which I have to do is what actually the business that company does, as in how that company generates an revenue. So what are its actual customers who are paying for the product or services which are being there. So if you consider bank as an unit, so for which the loans which we give are our actual things from which we earn money and not the fixed deposit or not the savings account. So money which we earn from savings account is converted to the loans, and there is exactly where the banking sector earns the major money. So any company which comes, first thing is how it earns the revenue. That has to be very clear in a candidate. Next thing which I go through is initially quite first 20 to 30 pages of the audited financials which have been shared. So for ICICI Bank as well, around first 20 pages usually covers what are the new products they have launched. Apart from that, what are its current year performance, and few couple of ratios which are important and very critical is what is the vision of ICICI Bank going for the next financial year. So this is for the every company, the audited financials are at least first 20 pages which I would prefer. Next is if for a bank specific, I had been preparing at least 2 to 3 products which ICICI Bank has launched in last 4 years. So for my part, I had studied what is buy now, pay later, what was InstaBiz as an application. So a couple of 2-3 products, what are its pros? The pros are something which you will easily find on your website, but something a candidate should learn is what are the key inputs additionally from the pros which you can provide into that product, which will impress an interviewer. So there has to be at least 1 or 2 suggestions how you will expand your product or how you will increase the reach of the product, or what is an additional feature which will ease a customer journey for that. So this is few things or few insights which candidate has to note down for at least 2 to 3 products. And next for ICICI Bank is, as the role was not initially shared, so whatever the domains was there, so wholesale banking. So in wholesale banking, what are the top 2-3 roles? So and quite details about that. So if you consider retail banking, in retail, there will also be a branch banking. There will also be a CASA people. There will also be a transaction banking people who will do the LC charges. So quite brief about all these specific roles, because the interviewer panel can be from any of these domains. So you have to be prepared at least 2 to 3 pointers on each of them. And the most important thing, even if you're not doing any of these things, first thing is read your resume carefully and link at least 4 points in your resume that how you will contribute to a growth journey of that particular company. So this is how my placement preparation for any company that visited, and specifically for ICICI. Yeah.
So Subodh, we are on the last leg of the interview. So do you have any pro tip for the audience, those are going to interview for this role?
Sure, Pranav. So I have 3 pro tips. So first is, an individual should know what is 360-degree banking, so that he would also be aligned with a savings account. What is an investment portfolio in a bank? So it's maybe FD, TD. If you increase the potential, then it could be a demat account as well. Apart from that, it could be home loan, auto loan, other products. Apart from that, there are few digitally advanced products. There are cards. So these are the few 360 banking which we can sell to a single customer. So 360 banking is something which every interview panelist likes. Next pro tip is, to know or to get knowledge about this, you have to see videos like this. And third thing is, you have to completely chill before an interview and go with a fresh and open mind. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you, Subodh. This was really insightful, and I do hope that people get help from this video and they clear the ICICI interview.